What's up? Are you still running these wimpy, stock, mismatched shocks? I'm going to show you how to get the best results out of these things. Now that we got that taken care of, let's go inside and get to work. What's up guys, Tony from Tucker Speed here. Now that we've taken care of those stock shocks, I'm gonna get this bike behind me outfitted with a set of RWD RS-2s. I'm gonna walk you through step by step on how to install these. Pretty basic, but a few key things you're gonna wanna know. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm gonna get the saddlebags off the bike first, get this bike lifted up in the air, and then we'll get the shocks off. All right, now I got the bike up in the air. I'm gonna put a jack underneath it and get the rear wheel up. However you're doing this, just make sure that the bike is supported properly, that it's not gonna tip over or anything. So I'm just gonna get this thing lifted up, pull the shocks off. All right, now we got the shocks removed. It's pretty straightforward and easy. You are gonna wanna hang on to your hardware because we are gonna be reusing that. Okay, pretty straightforward, getting the shocks pulled off of there. I'm gonna bust these open here. Got an instruction sheet, warranty, some stickers. Okay, so I'm getting ready to install this. I was just looking at the instruction sheet and it isn't 100% clear that there is a left or right. They are two different shocks that are a mirror of each other, and there's an O-ring on one side and not the other. Their little diagram shows the bolt coming from the O-ring side and through it, so the O-ring would be on the outboard side of the bike. So I'm going to install it just the way their diagram shows, even though it does not say left or right. So we're gonna go ahead and install it there. It comes with spacers inside and out. All right, so I got the factory washer, a spacer, an O-ring, kind of snap that into that groove. That is on the clip. There's a safety clip in there holding that joint in there, and then one of their supplied spacers on the inside. So we'll go ahead and get this one preloaded with some Loctite. Okay, so I got this bottom bolt in, and you're gonna want to check your axle to muffler or exhaust clearance. With these 13s and this oversized like 4.5-inch Chromeworks muffler, the axle is super close at fully extended. This one's gonna be okay, but just barely. But keep in mind to check that. I'll get these snugged down here and throw the other side on, and then we'll be ready to set the sag. All right, we'll get this other side thrown on here, and we'll be ready to set it up for rider weight. Again, the O-ring is on the outboard side. That puts the reservoir on the rear of the shock. Okay, I got all 4 bolts installed. I'm just gonna give them a torque, 65 foot-pounds, and they are done being installed and ready for setup. All right, so that finishes the install. The next step is to set the sag. But before we do that, I just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, the Law Tigers, the motorcycle attorneys. They do a lot to pump back into the motorcycle industry besides just being there in the need of an accident. So If you guys ever are in need or in an accident, the Law Tigers are your first call. All right, so the next step is setting the sag. So what you want to do is you want to lower the jack. I got the jack loaded so the bike is sitting on its own weight. You want to go ahead and take a measurement. I'm going to use the bottom of the spring collar on the bottom to the top of the spring. Right there, I'm sitting at right at 7 inches. Next step is we want to throw the rider on there and check that again. Go ahead and hop on there, Fred. And we want the difference between these two measurements to be a 1/2 inch. So if I check that again, that puts me right at 6.5. 1/2 inch difference between it is right where you want to be. If you are outside of that, you're going to want to pick the bike up, turn that spring collar up or down to kind of change the tension on the shock to get that 1/2 inch of preload. That's how you properly set up the sag on these RWD RS-2s. All right, that wraps everything up. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a pretty straightforward install, just a few kind of critical moments. Remember, these RWDs are available on our website at tuckerspeed.com. And if you're also interested in front suspension install, we're gonna have that video coming out very quick. Tune in for that. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them below. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.